Hey y'all, it's Farmer MeeMaw, and today, well, I have a mess to clean up. I've been spending a lot of time in the kitchen lately, and I just want to give you a little bit of an update about what's been going on. So I had spent a week at my son's house with his wife and their new baby. Well, she's not new. She's like 7 or 8 months old now. And I just, I have to go and stay for a while every now and then just to soak up all the lovin's. So anyway, so while I was there, my husband decided now is the time to start our bathroom renovation. And so last week he stayed home. He took the week off. Instead of having a vacation, we had a bathroom renovation. Well, the beginnings of one anyway. If you followed me for long, you know that my house is insane. Like the way that people built the house, they may have been ADHD, to be honest. They did some crazy things. And so we've dealt with this for a while, and we knew we were going to uncover some strange things, and we did. The first day I had a little input, and my husband doesn't like my input, y'all. Like, if you've ever seen my video about how agitated I got when he mowed down my fig tree that I'd been mowing around all summer, and he decided to mow for me and thought it was just this oddly placed big pile of weeds, and mowed it down. So anyway, we working on projects can be oil and water, and it's funny because I'm only trying to help. He takes it as me supervising him. And with my ADHD brain, y'all, one of the few benefits of my ADHD brain, and I don't know if it's because of just the way my brain works or the way I've had to train my brain to work because of the ADHD, but I can look at a situation and I can see a problem. I can see it before it happens. I can see why X, Y, and Z will work or won't work. And so that's just kind of, so when he's doing something and I can see that it's not going to work, he don't like that, y'all. Can you imagine? So anyway, we did not have a very good first day. But after that first day, we did have a talk. And even though I was not supervising him, he felt as if I was. And so after that, my goal was to stay in the kitchen, which I have done for almost 2 weeks now. Like, I spend almost my entire day in the kitchen. My yard is suffering. The grass is embarrassing. Once we get past these 100-degree temperatures, my goal is going to be to get out and work in the yard. My garden's non-existent, so I have been canning. See my pressure canner right there, my digital pressure canner, not a pressure cooker, pressure canner, which is amazing. I love it. It is super easy. Can't stress that enough because pressure canning stresses me out. The ADHD and anxiety thing goes through the roof because there is so much supervision involved in a regular on the stove canner. You have to time things, keep track of time, don't forget stuff, and it's just too much stress. That, on the other hand, so easy. So anyway, so I've been doing a lot of pressure canning, which has caused me to have to rearrange some things, make room for full canning jars and bringing empty ones out of storage and rewashing them, and then not having anywhere to put them because my kitchen's already full of stuff. But I'm working on that. Actually, I'm not actively working on that. That is today's project, good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. So anyway, back to the renovation though. After he started on this Saturday, like he worked it through Friday, and then he took off that whole week following. And so he started working all day, every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then this past Monday, so today is Thursday, Monday, he has been coming home from work and then doing a little something, moving forward every day. And we now have a floor. That happened after he went back to work. So we're like shoving, we're closing the door at night and shoving towels underneath the little space under the door. So whatever might be in the under the house or in the attic, because the walls are bare from down there, from up there, can't get through and come into the house. So my bedroom is a total wreck. Like beyond wreck, because it was a wreck before we gutted the bathroom. So like the standalone shelving and cabinets that we had in there are out. There's just so much that is no longer in the bathroom that we had to take out. My bathtub is going to be, I think it's 100 gallon or maybe 110 gallon, one or the other, a metal galvanized whatever stock tank. That's going to be, and it'll have like the curtain is that goes around in a circle, you know, that hangs down from above. I'm pretty excited. And around the area around where the bathtub is going to be corrugated metal, like the tin roof, you know, metal. And so what is so precious is that while I was at my son's house, I was there for about a week. And during that time, they lost power, and power was out for right at 48 hours. And it was hot. That was when we had big storms, trees down everywhere, just massive, just craziness. And there were tornadoes. I'd heard that there was a tornado that went through, and then it was on one of our weather station's Facebook page. I don't know, you know, you never know. I don't know if that was the one that came through or what came through where we were, but me and my daughter-in-law and my grandbaby, we came to and stayed at my mother's house. Now my mother, y'all, it's been a while. I don't even know was my mom in a nursing home the last time. After a series of falls, she was placed in a nursing home. And so that's where she's at. And so her house, we went to her house, and when we got there, it was hotter in her house than it was, apparently their, what do you call it? The air conditioner stopped working. Called somebody to come out there. All it was a flipped breaker, and I flipped it and flipped it back, and it worked again, and all was good. So anyway, but we were there for a little while, but when we found out that the air wasn't working, we actually stayed with my sister for one night, and so that was fun. But in amongst all of this time, I think I've already told y'all that I fell off my porch and broke my foot. That was earlier in spring. And then about a month or so ago, around the same time that all those storms were coming through, we lost some limbs that fell across our driveway. And during the renovation one day, we had to actually cut down a tree that had fallen across our driveway from that same time. But the damage, when all the other limbs fell, it was only leaning. Well, over the last several weeks, couple of weeks, whatever, it has got lower and lower and lower until we could no longer, you know, you couldn't walk through the driveway. You'd have to crawl over limbs. And so he cut that tree down. And anyway, before that happened, I'm squirreling, y'all. I'm so sorry. But when I'd used my tractor to drag those limbs off the driveway after he would cut them into pieces. I would drag them with my tractor through through our fence, or I'm sorry, through our gate, the gate of our driveway, and pull them off to the side. Well, then one day I was mowing, and so I was going to move those off to the side out of the way, because I had pulled them like they were kind of in the middle of the place where I was mowing. And so I grabbed one of those limbs and was pulling it. Like, I grabbed a smaller limb, like the limb that fell was like this bigger. It was like the size of a small tree. So the limb itself was like this thick, but I was pulling on a branch about yay thick. And it was already dead and dry to a crisp. Like, the leaves were crispy. It had been out there for a while. So anyway, I'm pulling it. The branch breaks, and this is a heavy tree, y'all, and I'm pulling with all my strength. And the branch, it doesn't just like break like this, it snaps completely off, and I go flying back. And of course I catch myself with my hands. Well, somewhere between that first fall off the porch and then I'd already started having, well, it's actually this time, I'd already started having neck pain, this weird little neck pain. And over time it has gotten worse and worse and worse. And so earlier this week on Monday, it had just, because over like 2 months time, it has just continually gotten worse. I decided I need to go have it seen about, because by now it should be getting better, not worse, whatever it was. And so I went to the doctor, and he sent me to have x-rays, and I have like degenerative disc disease in there are 2 places, 2 discs or whatever. And then I have arthritis in my spine, which my daddy had arthritis in his spine. So, you know, it's not something I'm unaware of, but this really reinforces my need to change my diet and to just make some other lifestyle changes. But anyway, so he gave me some medicine, which is causing some brain fog and drowsiness when I first take it. And so that's kind of annoying. But I feel, you know, like, I feel better than I was. Like, it had gotten to the point, the Monday we went to the doctor, I was walking around like this because it hurt to hold my head up straight. I was just like constantly like just dealing with the pain, and it felt like I was pushing against something if I had my head up straight. Anyway, so all this time though that we've had the renovation going on, I've been cooking the meals. My husband usually cooks, just because I have a lot of anxiety around cooking and prepping and cleaning up after cooking. And a lot of times I forget, like that ADHD brain of mine, I forget to take things out to thaw. So we, you know, when I was responsible for cooking, it would be supper time and we wouldn't know what we were going to have, or hadn't taken out anything to thaw. It was just like, just my brain, y'all. It just, like, in my anxiety, it was just not working right. So since he took off work all these days, I have been responsible for cooking meals, which I have had a lot of fun doing. And another reason he didn't like me cooking anyway was because when I cook, I make a lot of dirty dishes. And I guess he doesn't. But we always had the same thing. Like, we have, you can tell what day of the week it is based on what we're having for supper when he cooks. So anyway, but I would make a lot of dishes, and he would end up usually doing the dishes. And so, you know, he would rather cook himself, and because his brain allows him to remember things. And so anyway, so I've been responsible for cooking all this last week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And I'm enjoying it. I love cooking, y'all. I love cooking. I just don't enjoy cleaning up. And he doesn't enjoy cleaning up my messes because they're so big when I cook. But I've made baked oatmeal. I made bread pudding. But it was like a pumpkin, cranberry, apple kind of bread pudding. Oh, it's really good. So obviously, and this is the result, weight loss. I'm going in the wrong direction. But I posted a picture yesterday on Facebook. I took one of those beloved bathroom selfies. It was in my boy's bathroom, obviously, because I don't have a bathroom right now, which is one of the reasons I took the picture. Like, my bathroom, the people who lived here before us were apparently tall, so I can barely see myself. Like, I can see, like, my head is all I can see in the mirror. And so I never really see myself in the bathroom, like changing clothes and stuff like that. We've lived here for 18 years. Now I have full-size mirrors, not full-size. I have large mirrors like on dressers in my bedroom, which allow me to see everything, but it's not the same because I'm dressed when I see myself in those mirrors, and I only look at those mirrors or notice how I look when I'm trying to. So it's when I know, like I'm dressed and ready and I need to see how it looks, okay? So I've been living in denial for 18 years. So anyway, so I've had a little bit of a reality check between my doctor's appointment and just seeing the scales go up. And my husband asked me yesterday, why are you cooking carbs again? Because I've been making fried potatoes, y'all, or hash browns, depending on what meal we're eating. And I made the oatmeal bread pudding. I say oatmeal bread. It doesn't taste like baked oatmeal because I add so many eggs to it that it comes out like bread. And my son didn't even know it was oatmeal. And he has some, you know, for a snack before bed at night because it's blueberry. I made blueberry. But anyway, so there's been a lot kind of going on. And I've been wanting to make videos, but, and the reason I'm standing here and talking instead of just doing a video of while I clean all of this, is because it's been really hard for me to try to make videos like I used to. And I don't know if it's just that I'm out of practice or just my brain is not letting me. And part of that could be because I'm not eating the way I should. So I've been doing some thinking and some planning, and I have some strategic but possibly difficult plans coming up. You know, I don't want you to think I'm doing too much or being too extreme, or that I need to, you know, because I'm an all or nothing kind of person. And one of the reasons that I did well, did it get lighter and darker? Anyway, the reason that keto worked so well for me was it was kind of an all or nothing kind of thing. And while I was actively keto, my appetite went down, and so I was able to naturally fast. And fasting has tremendous benefits. And the longer you fast, the bigger the benefits. And so while right now fasting would be difficult for me, my goal ultimately is to be able to do longer fasting, so that I will get some serious like body reset kind of benefits. But I've got to get my basic health and eating, I say health, my basic eating back in check, which means I need to cut out the carbs and go back to, and the thing, here's the other thing, like I want to eat more than just meat and broccoli, which is normally meat and broccoli, meat and cauliflower for supper. Like I do a lot of egg salad, chicken salad, stuff like that. But at supper, I want to have yummy food. And for me, with my brain, it needs to be yummy. It needs to be easy and quick. And on some level, it needs to be novel. It needs to be different. And so I want recipes. I don't want just a veg with some cheese on it, because that's how we usually, you know, we'll put cheese on our broccoli or cauliflower or whatever. And so I was needing a change, and there are more options when you're eating. And I say a change, like options, it's like corn and potatoes every night. Well, almost every night. Usually, because corn and potatoes are the only vegetables that my youngest will eat. He's a picky eater. I was a picky eater. But we got to work on that too, because I don't want him to have the same problems I have when he's older, or even now, because I mean, you know, just the way the world is, kids are more and more unhealthy as time goes on. But anyway, so those are some of the things that I've been up to or dealing with. And there is that bright light again, y'all. And so I just wanted to get on here and chat a little bit and let you know where things are going. I am, if some of my videos may start being more health oriented or back to kind of some goals, I will try to get to where I am. Oh, 2 chickens are out. Anyway, I will try to get to where I can post and edit videos. Right now, I don't want to edit videos because that means I have to have my computer uncovered, and with the renovation, everything is covered in dust. And so I have like covers on my computer and electronics and things like that. And so I'm kind of afraid to even spend too much time with them uncovered at this point. So anyway, that's kind of where things are. That's where I've been. Oh, and today my memories, do y'all get the photo memories of, like Google will send you memories of the pictures that you took on that day, and things like that. Do you get those? I get those. And today's memory that came up, apparently it was a year ago today, that my daddy went into a nursing home, which was probably one of the hardest things that we've ever had to do. And the picture that came up though was my daddy, and it's a hospital bed. My parents had a hospital bed even though nobody used it. And he was laying in the hospital bed, and when he went to the nursing home, he had gotten in bed one day and then just didn't get up again. Like he'd been in bed basically for 3 days. He wasn't walking. Me and the caregiver, and probably my sisters too, but I know when I was there, like when he would need to be cleaned up, you know, I was going over and helping the caregiver, and it was a struggle because my daddy, you know, didn't want anyone messing with him. He was, at that point, he actually passed away 6 weeks later. So we kept him home a lot longer than most people would have even tried to, but we did. And it just got to the point where we couldn't do it anymore. He needed around the clock supervision and assistance. And so on this day 2 years ago, I see this, and he's sitting in the bed. He still looks good, y'all. He looks like his normal self. His lips were, you know, he was whistling. He was a whistler. So he was whistling, and he was holding the baby doll that he thought was a real baby. He loved this baby doll. He lit up every time he saw it. And so he was holding the doll and he was whistling, and he looked good. He, you know, because we made sure he ate. So that was the memory, and I was like, aw. And then one of the next memories right after that, from also on this day, was him in a wheelchair being lifted into the back of a transport van, which is how they got him to the nursing home, because we couldn't, at that point, we couldn't get him in and out of a vehicle. He just was not going. And so yeah, it was a rough day on this day 1 year ago. And so I sent the picture of my daddy with the baby. I sent it to my husband, and he reacted, you know, he was like, I'm sorry, that was a really hard day, or that was a really rough time, or something like that. And I was like, you know, when I looked at it, all I was thinking was, oh, he's whistling. He looks healthy. He looks like himself. He's got the baby. And then whenever my husband said that was a rough time, I was like, I was fine until you said that. I wasn't even thinking about that, but it was.